Hey Ivan, can you give me a legacy sponge, big guy?
Actually, no. Today we're doing a rinseless wash with 10 plush microfiber towels.
I'm Nick.
I'm Ivan, and this is DIY Detail.
And I'm just sort of perplexed here. So, you're the sponge rinseless wash guru, and we're not using a sponge today?
No, a lot of people like the multiple towel method.
Ivan is the efficiency guy. I've never seen him with 10 towels. I'll probably never see him again with 10 towels. But for those out there who are so OCD that you only want to touch one side of your towel to the paint, and then you want to put it in the laundry, this video is for you.
Exactly. Now, in our bucket we have 3 gallons of water. That means 3 capfuls
Of rinseless wash.
the DIY Detail rinseless wash.
1 capful, 2 capfuls. I'm thinking green Jolly Rancher, green apple Jolly Rancher is the scent a lot of folks are telling us about.
Now, the one thing, we have the dirt catcher in there, but we actually don't need it because we're never going to be putting a towel back into the bucket.
But if we're going to be OCD, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
And let's get these towels soaking in there.
Get them in there. I just think this is funny. It's like when folks who know Ivan said, what are you doing with a foam cannon and a car wash soap with incredible suds?
Yeah.
Not a guy known to do this or that. But it's kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
I've done this method before. Honestly, if I've coated a really soft black paint car and I just really don't want to scratch it, it's come back for a maintenance wash in my shop, I do something like this, just to satisfy my own OCD, even though I do believe in the science and chemistry.
Yeah, now, in the IKA foamer, we're gonna be putting 1 ounce to 32 ounces of water. We have 32 ounces of water already in there. Nick is gonna add 2 capfuls, which equals 1 ounce or 30 milliliters. And we'll be pre-treating with that and then pressure washing it off. Yes, it's a rinseless wash. It means you're not rinsing it afterwards. But there's nothing wrong with rinsing it before, especially when it's this dirty.
When it's this dirty, but if you have a lightly soiled car, all you need to do is pre-treat it with the rinseless wash. It's gonna start to break down the dirt, encapsulate it, and then you have a safe wash method. But in the middle of winter, you can do a rinseless wash. Great if you have a hose, and it's gonna be a safer pressure wash process once you let the rinseless wash break some of that dirt and grime down for you. Because if you just touch your wash media to a vehicle that hasn't been pre-treated at all, you're introducing scratch risk.
Exactly.
And this is the OCD method.
Right, and while Nick is pumping that up, I'll get away from his noise a little bit and say that you can subscribe to this channel. You can give us a thumbs up, and please, please, we love the comments and questions. We answer every single one of them. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can see more videos like this.
You may not know that your foamer's not ready until it hisses.
Yeah,
I think it's ready.
it's close, it's close.
Okay.
Now, why are we foaming the rinseless wash?
Because it cleans better?
Exactly. And it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I get to pump it and you spray it, huh? Is that how this works? Oh man, it's pretty awesome that we have a foaming rinseless wash. This is not a super common combination in the industry, and
No.
Ivan, we worked really hard to get this rinseless wash to a pretty special place.
Right. And the rinseless wash, you know, it's an ever-evolving chemical. It's one of the fastest evolving chemicals in the industry. So our rinseless wash is the latest technology. We're able to combine polymers, which are super safe, lots of fun, with surfactants and emulsifiers. And the side effect of the surfactants and the amount of surfactants we have is foam.
And one thing folks have been telling us is they're really never had experience with a rinseless wash that cleans this well. The surfactants in this are pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And so it cleans surprisingly well. It makes a very effective pre-treat to paint before the pressure wash.
And really, I should have only put 16 ounces in here, so we put 1 capful instead of 2, and not have to pump it up as much. One of the things with the IK sprayer is the more liquid you have in it, the less time you'll have to spray.
Very fascinating. So the air in here actually, once you've pumped it up, works in your favor?
Exactly.
Does the foam on the front end give you a little bit more juice if you have less air, but last less long?
No, the quantity of foam, etc. stays the same, but it's just the more air you can introduce into this, the less often you're going to have to add air to it.
Makes sense to me.
So we'll let this pre-soak a little bit. You notice I didn't do anything with the wheels. We're going to be doing a separate video with the wheels. So these wheels are, let's say, challenging to our industry. So now that it's dwelled about a minute or two, we're not in direct sunlight, so we don't need to worry about that. We're in a climate controlled, thankfully, because it's really cold outside. But anyways, Nick's gonna go and pressure wash this off, and then we'll get to washing.
We have 10 towels in here. We're ready to rock and roll, but Ivan, since we're going OCD, we might as well go all the way.
Right, so what we're gonna be doing is just another little pre-spray to get it on the surface to add more lubrication.
Now, as Ivan's doing that, you know, when you have your Legacy sponge, you basically squeeze it out to basically nearly no longer dripping. I like a little bit more moisture. I like a little bit more rinseless wash in these towels. I don't know if there's any science to it, but I kind of prefer it. I feel like there's more lubrication. If I need to squeeze some out in a way that I feel like is going to lubricate the paint beforehand, I've got it in my towel.
Right, now, one of the constraints of this method is you want to use a very thick towel, because one thing that can happen is pressure points. So you want to keep your hand as flat as possible and not dig in with your fingers. And like you said, a nice damp, wet towel does a great job.
So the way that I would do this, and we can talk about this, is I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna do this guy.
Right.
Or do you think does it not matter at this point?
It helps. The way we pre-rinsed this and pre-treated it, it's a moot point at this point. There's no more grit left on this. We just have traffic film. But yes, rolling your towel is great. No pressure on the towel. Keep your hand as flat as possible. And you never dunk your towel back in.
Exactly. So one side at a time. But the roll towel method, if I understand it correctly, is you're gonna start with the edge of it, and
you start flat and roll up.
You start flat and then you roll up so that you're never reinforcing dirt into the paint as you go along. So basically, and then you would flip the side.
Yeah, so we start flat, and as we go, we change the leading edge of the towel.
You always say it in a more eloquent way. I know this stuff. Ivan's the encyclopedia. So we're just gonna go flat for as long as you want. I mean, we got 10 towels.
We have 10 towels, and each towel has 8 sides, but we'll just be using 4 sides of the towel.
And I'm gonna flip here. So I've used 2 sides so far.
Yeah, I've used 2 as well. And one of the major keys is no pressure. Let the towel glide on the surface.
Except for on the windows where you can be a little bit less precise, if I may say so myself.
I'm just gonna do the inside lip of the wheel well, and then this towel is done.
Ivan gets to do the laundry tonight.
Pardon me?
You get to do the laundry tonight.
I get to do the laundry every night.
Like an old married couple.
There you go.
And I'm gonna deem this our old towel bucket, discarded towel.
The one's ready for the laundromat.
Have you done this door? I've done these 2.
I'm just working on this door, and then we're done. And then we're done.
And then we're done? That is the most ridiculous comment I've ever heard, Ivan, because our camera died and we flipped the car around, did the same process, and we're gonna go ahead and dry it now.
So now we're at that point where we can dry. And Nick brought in a second bucket, as you notice, for the dirty towels. And he actually missed a spot on the door here, so we'll get another towel.
I missed a spot because I knew you'd see it, and then you'd have to clean it again. Because we had to use all 10 towels.
Right, exactly.
Or it wouldn't quite be the 10 towel method.
Yeah, so we can see that he missed a spot right there and right here. So we'll redo the door. One thing that's very important when you're doing this is
Hold on, Ivan. I did the door right on the other side.
Yeah, I know you did.
Okay.
You did, actually.
Sorry, one thing that's very important
is to be methodical in anything you're doing. So detailing, the more methodical you are, the more thorough you will be and the less you'll miss. So like we did with the pressure washing part of it, you know, not being over here and then over here and then over here. So Nick started to do the door, I watched what he was doing, and then went to do the mirror. Well, when he went to do the door again, he didn't know where he had been.
I will say, when someone else is watching you pressure wash and you're on camera, you think to yourself, maybe they're gonna think I'm slow. So I got in my head, but intuitively, which I use that word a lot, intuitively going back and forth in a methodical way seems pretty easy and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you know that
right here we got another dry spot.
Yeah.
So there we go. And we'll do that arch.
Pan the organizer said of Ivan, I've never seen someone work more slowly and get the job done faster.
Exactly.
So methodical.
Methodical. Basically having a process and using the process and not overthinking. So a lot of people, if you have a methodical process to do and you do it always with that same method, then you don't have to think about it all the time.
And when things come up, you can improvise.
Right. So, speaking of improvising, let's not improvise and let's dry instead. And that is our new waffle. Now you'll notice the size of our waffle is quite similar to the drying blanket.
I'm partial to the drying blanket.
And I'm partial to waffles. And if we put them side by side, we'll see that not much of a size difference. Yeah.
What you're gonna notice with the waffle though, it's going to be lighter. So these are great, they soak up a ton of moisture, but I'll bet you if we weighed these, there'd be a vast difference.
There's a vast difference. And there's gonna be another video soon actually comparing our towels. Now, one thing, you'll notice Nick had the sprayer there and he put some on the vehicle and on his towel. Great method, excellent. We have had comments from people though that they feel they're using too much of it. And if you are getting streaking, you are using too much. And it all comes down to how your sprayer is set up. So these Talco sprayers, when they come to us, they're not set in any particular fashion. So if you look at the mist that I've got coming from mine, we have a nice fine mist.
And let's try this.
Right. We don't need to put ceramic gloss on the garage door.
Right.
So basically what happens is you can adjust these. So if you bring it in closer to the body of the sprayer, you can actually lock it up, but you get a very, very fine mist. So here, ooh, looks nice in the light. And then if you back it up though, you get a rougher mist. So we want the most atomization possible.
Yeah, the other day, Ivan and I were doing quick beads on a car, and he mentioned to me, an iron remover as well, I was misting, but my mist wasn't as wide, and he's like, you're actually going to be missing points on the paint, and so the more economical way to do it is get yourself the widest fan, you're gonna hit all the points on the paint, you're gonna use less product.
Right, exactly.
Which I love that, we'll use this product.
Yeah. And let's try the waffle. So waffle, they're great drying towels. They've been around a lot longer than the twist loop, and they just work. A lot of professionals actually prefer the waffle simply because of its lighter weight.
Any way to cut down on wear and tear on the body, especially as you get a little bit older, is much appreciated.
Yeah.
Ivan showed me a photo of myself polishing the other day, and I was grinding down on the paint, very un-Ivan-esque. And the one part of it, and you've got the whole explanation of why, you know, no heat is the perfect way to polish, and I agree with Ivan. But the one thing that got me was my posture. You know, I'm 36, I'm like, man, anything that can save your body and ergonomics makes sense to me.
Right.
Makes sense, Ivan.
So there we have it. We've cleaned both sides now of this Lincoln, and oh, just back behind the mirror. Now,
that's how you know Ivan is a lover of the detail game, is you can't even see it on camera. I missed a spot, and he does that.
Yeah.
I love. It's the OCD wash, the 10 towel method.
Exactly. Did you like the 10 towel method? Are you missing the legacy sponge? Let us know.
And by the way, if you like the legacy sponge or you want to know more about it, we got a playlist right here, other independent reviewers and us.